All right, so we're live now, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing well. Um, all right, we got Leto in here. We got Action in here, ATC, and ATC was the first one in here tonight. Leto's the second, and we got Solid in here. We got like four people. That's good way to start off here. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. So I hope that you guys. Granted, I know a lot of people seem to leave pretty quickly last night, but I hope everybody did enjoy the story I wrote. Going to be probably be working on it for a while, but um, so yeah, so we got like 3 or 4 people, so we'll probably just wait a few minutes here to see if we can get some more people to show up, and then probably get right into it. We'll probably, depending upon how many people we have here, we'll probably could get started as quickly as 5 minutes in. So how's everybody's day going today? Hopefully everybody's doing well. I know we've been chatting it up in the chat here since before the show, and YouTube's being a little screwy. We've seen somebody along the line, either StreamYard or YouTube's being a little screwy on the viewer count. I have seen them. I try to be there when I'm home, so I'm fine. So, good, Mike. It's been a long day, but I'm at home, so I'm fine. That's cool. And of course, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. If you guys haven't had a chance to do so yet, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more people in here, that'd be appreciated. Um, yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So with that, one of the things, even though I decided to stop and read a story yesterday, of course, that gave us a little time to let some news stories build up. And looks like we'll have 5 of them tonight. Um, all from Bounding into Comics. Go more into those details a few minutes here. We're already 3 minutes into it. So yeah. So anyways, well, for me it was pretty much same old, same old. Got up, went and got my energy drink. Came home, played some games for a while, then went I watched some old episodes of Dark Shadow, the '60s version. I've been recording on my DVR, and then and of course watched my afternoon block, and then got the stream ready, and then said hi to RJ on his stream, and then went up, got a soda, and then got back here. And Jerry Ryan still, yeah, Dark Shadow. What I'm talking about, ATC is the Dark Shadow the original Dark Shadow series, from back in the '60s. Okay, I don't think Jerry Ryan, if she was alive at that point, would probably been a child at that point. um, Howdy's still trying to beat Audi 2, or Quake 2 rather. How are y'all? Hey Dave, I hope you liked my story last night. um, as always, guys, as I said, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. If you guys can help out with that, that'd be appreciated. So yeah, so we're just past the 5 minute mark. We have like about 4 or 5. counter says 3, but I think it's more like 4 or 5. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start getting started here. So tonight I do have, as I said, 5 stories to go over. All of them bounding into comics, 3 comics related, um, 3 comics related, and 2 anime related, including, let's see now. Let me just remind myself here. Chuck Dixon reveals 2 of his top comic book recommendations. The one story we'll be covering. Disney to adapt Jean Luen Yang's American-born Chinese graphic novel. Hasbro to introduce new Power Ranger just before the Etarian War, which I believe is in conjunction with the Boom Studios Power Rangers comic. So those are the comic related stories, and then a couple of anime stories. One of them caught my eye yesterday or the other day. And we'll talk about this a little later. A cosplayer was charged with manslaughter after ignoring basics of gun safety during night of drinking. So that's going to be interesting to see. And then and then the latest One Piece film, Strong World, to get a U.S. theatrical release in November. So those are the stories we're going to be looking at tonight. Um, so, um, so hopefully everybody's doing well. All right. So, anyways, let's get going with the. Why don't we go ahead and get started with these articles? Yeah, and just from what I can tell too, I guess some of the video quality is a little shaky tonight as well. But hopefully they'll get it fixed soon. Laugh out loud. I lifted my rider to do some maintenance and hurt myself. Gotta remember, I'm not as good as I once. Oh, be careful, my friend. We don't want to see you get hurt. Oh, hey, by the way, guys, over weekend I got HBO. Oh, well, good for you, man. Ah, just got to see the Scorpion movie or the Sopranos movie. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go again with the signal, I guess. All right. So, anyways, and Woody's here. Hey, Woody. I bet you're a good one as you ever was. As good as you once. Hey, Woody. All right. So, anyways, let's get into the article here. Start getting into the articles here. As always, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. If you guys can help out with that, that'd be appreciated. All right. Chuck Dixon reveals 2 of his top comic book recommendations. Article by John F. Trent. This was published this past Friday on the 1st. So here we go. The creator of Bane, Chuck Dixon, recently revealed 2 of his top comic book recommendations. Dixon's recommendations came on the latest episode of his Ask Chuck Dixon, which you can watch below. Oh, and that looks like, I think that's Guy Gardner right there. That's Green Lantern Guy Gardner right there. Um, In Ask Chuck Dixon, number 77, Johnny McCloskey asked Dixon, um, quote, "You do a fantastic job of describing the art of storytelling. Are there any comics that you'd suggest reading, either that you've or someone else has written that tells a great story? Do you have any artists that you'd recommend as great storytellers?" Unquote. Dixon answered, quote, "It's a big question with a lot of answers. There are so many great examples of storytelling in the world of comics and literally all over the world. But I'm going to concentrate on one. This is the kind of one stop shopping for everything you are looking for in great storytelling." Unquote. War present and frontline combat, war present and past, number one. So that's it. So let's see here. Frontline combat number one is the source of that. Dixon then went on to reveal his two top recommendations. Quote, "EC Comics was famous, or rather infamous, for horror comics. But for my money, the best thing they ever produced were their two war titles, Frontline Combat and Two Fisted Tales. These were produced during the time of the Korea War, so the early 50s, basically," unquote. Early 50s, what they're talking about there. He continued, quote, "And they were probably the most brutally frank war comics ever produced in this country. Both books were created and driven and mostly written by Harvey Kurtzman, who at the same time was creating Mad Magazine, an entirely different prospect from these two books." Now, a little history lesson for you guys. Of course, I've talked to you guys. I've mentioned before the kind of the history behind the Comics Code Authority. Um, Harvey Kurtzman, who was running EC Comics at the time, felt that the government in particular was targeting him because, again, a lot of his horror comics were very, very graphic. So they were like infamous. Yeah. Um, So what ended up happening, he ended up, EC Comics ended up shutting down because of the restrictions placed on them by the Comics Code Authority, and led Harvey Kurtzman to focusing more on, publishing Mad Magazine, where he was allowed a little more leeway, as it were. So just as a kind of a basic understanding of the situation there. Um, Dixon went on to discuss the book's technical craft. Quote, "Because Frontline Combat and Two Fisted Tales were it's pretty grim material, but it's so wonderfully presented. Kurtzman would write the scripts and do layouts for his artists. And there's a heavy emphasis, unlike most American comic books, at the same time. There was a heavy emphasis on cinematic storytelling." Here's a cover. Here's, I guess, a cover of Two Fisted Tales. Wow, look at that color scheme too. That looks pretty. That looks pretty good. This is from Two Fisted Tales number 35. He then proceeded to shower praise on the two books. Quote: "This is bravura comic storytelling. It is pure comics. Um, Combination of words and pictures, just enough words to allow the artist to carry the story visually, and as you can see, often no words. Kurtzman's amazing use of sound effects, um, amazingly effective use of sound effects, and it's just great stuff. And Kurtzman often would also draw stories himself, provide covers, unquote. Quote, like I said, it's one stop shopping for storytelling because not only is the craft here and the stories are evocative, they're easy to follow, and the perfect balance of words and pictures, which I always emphasize, is what pure comics is all about, unquote. The comic book legend asserted. Enemy Assault, Frontline Comics #1 there. See what you guys might be saying here as I'm going through these articles. Let's see. Today my kids asked for a bib sister. I noped out hard. Okay. Infamous. Uh, ha ha ha. Tell your kids I'll try. Laugh out loud, but don't laugh out loud. Uh, I just say your mom can't handle me anymore, and my little girl Trinity is like, ew, Dad. I smirk because she gets it. Well, she isn't she kind of at that age, ATC, where she's starting to kind of get what adults do, as it were. Hint, hint. Anyways, getting back to the article. Dixon then discussed the emotional appeal of the two books. Quote, there's also a lot of heart in these stories. Each 8-page and sometimes 7-page story is a mini epic on its own. It introduces its own ensemble cast, sets up the situation, the historic situation, be it conflicts in the Korean War, Civil War, ancient Rome, all over the map. It's very much historical adventure. It's very much historical adventure books, both of these books, unquote. He continued discussing the book's storytelling craft, quote, but they set all of that up, and they always tell a marvelous story, often with a twist ending, because that was EC's style. Um, but um, but sometimes not. Sometimes a grim downer ending or an ending that evokes some sort of emotional catharsis. New Orleans, Two Fisted Tales #35. He went on to specifically highlight one specific story. Quote, there's a number of these stories which are deeply effective because they have so much heart. There's a story called uh, Belly Robber. That's an interesting title for a story. Illustrated by Jack Davis. That if you don't tear up a little by the end of the story, you simply have no heart. Um, and that's rare in comics for them to explore the range of emotional depth that Harvey Kurtzman and his artist managed to plumb here, unquote. Dixon then went on to recommend a number of war comics from DC Comics as well. Quote, the only other examples I can think of are also in the war genre, early 70s DC comic war comics, particularly those by Joe Kubert and Russ Hirth, written by Robert Knier, sometimes written by Russ Hirth, also touch on all of these things I talked about here. The craft of storytelling, the level of characterization, and the depth of emotions, and all the rest of it. Unquote. And just to give you guys a little background here, Robert Knier and Joe Kubert, from what I understand, actually did spend some time in the war, and I think it was I think they both were involved in like World War. Well, I know Knier was. I don't know about Cuba, but Knier I know had actually been in the armed services. So Knier, aside from doing the war comics, of course, he was the guy who also took over the Wonder Woman series after DC um, bought out the rights to Wonder Woman from the Marstons. So, anyway, let's see. She's 13 and still my little girl. Yeah, yeah. And I know whether she's 13 or 103, she will always be your little girl. Okay, that's a given. You should ground her for understanding that much. Oh boy. I should, but me and my wife toss innuendos around so much. I'm surprised she hasn't caught on earlier. Found her with just video games to stunt her from growing up too fast. Doesn't that make me grow up faster? The way kids talk in game chat, she knows she knows the house rules. Hmm. All right, so continuing on with the article here. Dixon concluded, quote, check them out. They're reprinted. They're not hard to find in reprint form on eBay and Amazon. And anything by Kurtzman is worth looking at. But in particular, for me, this is him at the peak of his powers. Famous 1950 ZC comic, Two-Fisted Tales, He-Man Adventure. Two-Fisted Tales number 18. What do you make of Dixon's recommendations? Have you read them before? Are they as good as Dixon? Well, I haven't read those specific. I haven't actually read any of the war comics as of yet. I've read some of the synopses. There are some stories that are in there that are good though, from DC at least I know. But what are your top comic book recommendations? Read a lot of the earlier stuff of DC. All right, so we're done with that first article. Uh, oh yeah, we got like 4 people watching. Kind of nice. With only Nintendo Switch, laugh out loud. Yeah, she has that. Laugh out loud. A Switch Lite. Excuse me, guys. My dog's barking at something or somebody. So, I'll go tend to her. I'll be right back. can be kind of distracting when you're the only one home, with the dog. So, anyways, so we just got through with that first article, so we're gonna move on to the next one here. So, anyways, moving on to the next article. I'm gonna look at here. All right. All right. So here we go. Disney to adapt Jean Luong Yang's American-born Chinese graphic novel. Article by John F. Trent, published yesterday. So the Walt Disney Company and Disney Plus announced they will adapt Jean Luen Yang's 2006 graphic novel American Born Chinese. Kind of reminds me of American Dragon Jake Long. Way they're pitching this, it seems. The series will be titled the same as the graphic novel and is described in a press release as, quote, genre hopping action comedy series. Specifically, Disney details the series will tell, quote, the story of Zhang Wang, an average teenager juggling his high school social life with his immigrant home life, unquote. They add, quote, when he meets a new foreign student on the first day of the school year, even more worlds collide as Zhang is unwittingly entangled in a battle of Chinese mythological gods, unquote. The description concludes, quote, the show is a genre-hopping action comedy that explores issues of identity, culture, and family, unquote. Oh, they'd better watch this one because some SJW somewhere is going to probably call it racist. The way where things are going with that. Some SJW somewhere will probably call this adaptation racist somewhere. Shenanigans. What do you get, man? Oh, sweet. Think I'll go by. Let's see. All right. So, anyways, as we continue on with the article, and as checking the conversation there, the series will be written and executive produced by Kelvin Yu and Charles Yu. Kelvin Yu will also serve as the showrunner. Chang Shi and the Legend of the Ten Rings director Destin Daniel Cretton will direct and executive produce as well. Melvin Marr and Jake Kasdan will also executive produce. They are joined by Asher Goldstein and Jean Luen Yang. Oh wow! Look at that panel. The guy's got a man. The guy. I guess the kid in there is into Transformers. Got a G1 Optimus Prime figure right there. Yeah, a robot in disguise like this one. He changes into a truck. See more than meets the eye. Transformers. You see that toy? You see that? He's got like what looks like an Optimus Prime toy right there from back in the 80s. more than meets the eye. Oh, sweet. Yeah. I figured you'd find that sweet, my friend. You're the toy guy after all. But I grew up. That was another show I grew up on. Was the G1 Transformer series. Peter Cullen providing the voice of Optimus Prime back then. President of Disney Branded Television, I.O. Davis, stated, quote, "We are delighted to continue our relationship with Melvin Marr and Jake Kasdan and thrilled with Destin Daniel Cretton is set to direct." She added, quote, "The team are visionaries in bringing character-driven adventures to life, and we cannot wait for our audience to experience this fantastically memorable and imaginative adaptation of the graphic novel. This is a great universal story that moves between worlds and explores the impact of culture, identity, and acceptance through the lens of adolescence." 20th Century Television president Carrie Burke said, quote, "This has been a labor of love for Melvin Marr, and like the force of nature he is, the team he has assembled in Kelvin, Destin, and Jake is as inspired and otherworldly as Gene's beautiful graphic novel. We are so proud to be their studio and grateful to IO and everyone at Disney Brand Television, Disney Plus, for their belief in the series," unquote. Kelvin Liu added, I don't know if it's Liu or you or what. Maybe they're not even sure. Kelvin Liu or you added, quote, "Jean Luen Yang's book is a staple in American literature and deeply important to a whole generation of readers. Destin and Melvin are storytellers working at the highest level imaginable. It's all so exciting and so humbling to be a part of," unquote. Cretton also added his own statement, quote, "Reading Kelvin's riveting adaptation of Gene's incredible novel had me laughing and crying and jumping out of my chair on every page. I feel deeply connected to the characters in this story and the brilliant team bringing it to life. This show is going to be unlike anything we've experienced on TV, and I can't wait for the world to see what we're cooking up," unquote. Yeah, again, don't be surprised if at some point down the line the SJW starts screaming how racist this production is. Don't be surprised at all at that. Wow, we're up to 6 people now. Good. That's a nice number to have watching. And of course, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the video, that'd be appreciated as well. Um, Finally, Young also added his own thoughts. Quote, "I feel so lucky to be working with this team. Melvin Marr is a man with a vision, and I'm deeply grateful that he took this project under his wing. Speaking of the script, quote, Kelvin Yu is a phenomenal talent. His script brings to television everything I wanted to get across in my book," unquote. Quote, and Destin Cretton, who in America isn't a fan, of Destin Cretton right now? Well, there's probably a few people, considering that Shang-Chi isn't doing as well as people think it is, but or may want it to, but I can't wait for him to bring his signature blend of action and heart to the show. When I was in high school, I was such a big Disney fan, and I had at least one Mickey Mouse item on me at all times: a wallet, a watch, a belt, buckle, a T-shirt, something. Being a part of Disney Plus is a dream come true, he concluded. Um, American Born Dream. The series is being produced by 20th Century Television. No release period was announced. All right, so there's that article. Right, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment, so I'll be right back. I hope you guys are enjoying the articles thus far. As I said, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see. These people. Oh, wait. A little dark humor there, toys. A little dark humor there. Oh. Anyway, so let's move on to the next article then here. Let's see, where are we at on time here? Yeah, we're making good time because then we start a little early. So, coming up on 41 minutes here. Hasbro to introduce new Power Ranger just before the Eltarian War. Article by John F. Trent published earlier today. Boom Studios and Hasbro will be introducing a brand new Power Ranger in their ongoing Power Ranger series as the story hurdles closer to the Eltarian War. So Boom Studios has basically been the publishing company that's been publishing some of the Power Rangers comics of late. Oh, there's some graphic right there. That looks like, I think that's Tommy right there. Is the Green Ranger, or not the Green Ranger, but the White Ranger, what have you. In a press release, Boom Studios detailed that the upcoming Power Rangers number 12 comic from Parrott and writer writer Ryan Parrott, artist Francesco Mortarino, colorist Raul Angulo, with color assistance by Jose Enrique Fernandez and letterer Ed Dukeshire, will introduce a new Power Ranger. This upcoming issue will set the stage for the crossover event, the Eltarian War, which is expected to take place in the ongoing Power Rangers series, as well as the Mighty Morphin series later in October. Boom Studios specifically states, quote, as the Imperials, um, Imperials um, carry out their final task before the war is fully underway, the Rangers fight to survive the aftermath of their destruction of an alien planet. And some more of the panels from that particular book. They said, quote, they add, quote, but will they be able to save both the universe and themselves from their devastating might? Or will they find themselves stranded without hope of survival? Unquote. There's some more of the panel work, of course. Power Rangers number 12 will feature cover art by Gerald Perel, with variant covers by Danielle Di Nicuolo and Walter um, Biamonte, Goni Montes, and illustrator Eugene Park. Here's a look at Danielle Di Nicuolo and Walter Biamonte's cover. Next is Yejing Park's cover. And finally, here is Goni Montes variant cover. Whoa. The latest issue of Power Rangers will hit comic book shelves on October 13th, 2021. So a week from tomorrow, basically. So that's all of the comic stories. All of the comic stories. Someone say joints. What he asked. Montes look lazy. That font over his face. Let's see. Laugh out loud. Repairs ongoing. Laugh out loud. Last, the joints all held up. And to think Power Rangers was just video assets from Super Sentai reused. And now look at it. Someone say joints? I did. Said Montes looked lazy. Laugh out loud. Let's just add font over his face. Laugh out loud. Okay. Alrighty then. So we got a couple of anime stories to also go through here. We're not even at an hour yet, so this probably because I started pretty earlier than usual. Probably why we're going through these pretty. But here's a story that kind of caught my eye the other day when I'd actually kind of reviewing back over the last couple weeks of news items for open mic night this past Sunday, and lo and behold, I came upon this story and was kind of like, whoa, interesting here. So, all right, so cosplayer charged with manslaughter after ignoring basics of gun safety during night of drinking. Oh boy. Drinking and gunplay. Not always a good thing. In fact, probably some would argue never a good thing, but mixing alcohol and guns usually is something that will line up trouble. So, article by Spencer McCooley, published this past Friday, October the 1st. So, and before I get started reading, let's see if you guys are saying anything about this as of yet. Laugh out loud. Thank the toy gods for dolls. I saw this story. She's a terrible person. Well, I'm going to probably give some commentary on it. That sounds un-American, Mike. Well, I mean, yeah, mixing alcohol and guns again. I didn't say she didn't have a right to do it. I just said it's not necessarily a wise thing to do because obviously you get drunk, you lose your inhibitions, you lose your sense of right and wrong there. So, but let's see how the story plays out here. Let's read it and see how it plays out. And apparently, I guess Leto's already heard about this because he's already saying that she's a terrible person. A popular TikTok cosplayer has been charged with manslaughter after reportedly fatally shooting one of her friends with a gun she falsely assumed to be unloaded. Very free. Right. As reported by Cosplay Central, TikToker Marianne Oliver Snow, also known as the cosplayer Yandere Freak, was arrested on January 18th after providing a statement to the Harris County Sheriff's Office detailing the events that resulted in the death of her friend. Uh-oh. That's not good. According to an alleged report from the Assistant District Attorney of Harris County, Texas, so this even happened in Texas. Snow and her friends, quote, were all drinking and got pretty drunk, unquote. Got pretty drunk, which again would have affected her reasoning abilities right there. And again, my criticism isn't as much about the gunplay, it's more about the drinking aspect of it. If you're drinking yourself to a point to where you can't you don't even think to stop and realize, hey, maybe I should check the gun, make sure it's not loaded before I start trying to fire it, unless I really did want to fire it. But you know, again, it's not as much in this case. It's not as much about the gun. It's more about the alcohol that she chose to ingest that affected her sense of judgment. Well, let's see. Leto was saying she has no remorse. Well, I guess Leto would have heard about this because it's probably from closer to his area. I've allowed Mrs. Toys felt really bad, and I told her not to. She had to go for a drive. Wait, wait. The freak. Laugh out loud. This was local. Laugh out loud. I'm in Harris County. Laugh out loud. Oh, okay. Leto doxing himself again. Well, I think we all were aware that he was in Texas, but let's see. Snow and her friends were okay, and we read that part during a group viewing of the Batman-based TV drama Gotham. There's a Riddler, and I guess that's supposed to be the Joker right there. Gotham 2014 Fox. Okay. Amidst the festivities, the report notes that a gun had been left in her residence by her ex-boyfriend, but she believed that he had taken all of the bullets with him when he moved out. Okay. The document notes that Snow, quote, did not know there was a bullet in it, stating she has played with it um, before as a joke. It, you know, in fact, Snow detailed, quote, they had been passing the gun around for oh boy, for hours, and had been playing around with it. Being drunk plus playing with guns. Granted, basic common sense would tell you that's not a good plan. Even a lot of gun rights advocates would tell you that's that girl was brainless. It almost sounds like they were playing Russian roulette. You know, and again, this is not as much about gun rights or whether or not she had a right to have the gun or not. This is more about just using common sense and knowing how to use it, responsibly, and not touching it if you're drunk. Of course, the problem is when you're drunk, you don't have the reasoning to realize that. Hey, I'm drunk. Maybe I shouldn't be handling a gun because if I handle a gun when I'm drunk, I could actually kill somebody with it. Of course, drunks don't, in their drunken stupors, don't have that level of reasoning, obviously. They were. All right. So, anyways, getting back to the article here. Let's see, where are we at? Okay. The report goes on to assert that she then, quote, told her friends she had a gun like Penguin does. Well, the Penguin usually has a gun in his umbrella. His gun is usually incorporated into his umbrellas. So, while in the living room of the residence, the deceased allegedly joked, quote, "Oh, shoot me," unquote, to which Snow pretended to do so. The deceased then told Snow, quote, "Oh, do me." Okay, yeah, sounds like a bunch of stupid people here. They all probably have a few missing brain cells, apparently. Following, I would not be surprised if this story was in the Daily Stupid right there. Ah, following this, the report. Okay, yeah. Following this, the report notes that Snow, quote, turned to a right towards the complainant, face to face, placed a gun up to the left side of her head and pulled the trigger, unquote. Okay, this girl. Okay, I know Leto was commenting that this girl lacks remorse. She lacks brains too. She apparently seems to lack brains too, and didn't check to make sure the gun was. Um, you got it. He got did all right. Giant 7 day print time. Okay. When they say cosplayer, don't they mean thought? Yeah. I was just simping so too hard and forgot to take out the bullets. She's just sorry she couldn't monetize it. If you ask me, like a like she's got no brains. What it sounds like to me. Not like a whole lot of them don't seem to have any brains. A witness to the event also detailed that the victim told Snow, quote, "Hey, haha, put the gun to my head," unquote. So the victim was just as stupid as the girl who shot her. Sounds like sounds like a real university club there, doesn't it? Sounds like a brain trust right there. The report also notes that the witness, quote, heard the complainant tell the defendant to pull the trigger, believing the gun was empty, stating it was not supposed to be loaded, unquote. First off, you shouldn't be playing with guns in the first place. Second off, it didn't stop to think to make sure it wasn't loaded. Of course, if you follow that first rule, then the second rule, you know, the second rule, well, should be applied anyways. But anyways, um, Snow has been released on $200,000 bond, and though she returned to posting TikTok content in the immediate aftermath of her arrest, the scrutiny brought upon her by the event recently receiving widespread attention has led her to private her account. Well, of course, you're gonna sit. You just got arrested for basically killing your friend. Okay, you're being charged with manslaughter. I can see why Leto said she seems to have no remorse. Okay, she's either very remorseless or just an absolute twit. To quote Forrest Gump, "Stupid is and stupid does." This girl shows us that, doesn't she? She's showing us just how stupid she is. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I just shot my friend in the head. I just killed my friend. But I'm back on TikTok because I'm that cool. Really? No, you're a moron. You're an absolute moron. Let's see now. In this case, yes, she just killed someone and cosplays Yandere characters with blood everywhere. Yeah, I mean, you almost have to wonder too, Leto. Okay, should this girl go to prison or should she go into an insane asylum? I almost have to wonder what in the world she's thinking there at that point. Of course, maybe she's not thinking. That's part of the problem. Ah, an evidence exchange in Snow's manslaughter case, where it will also be decided whether she takes a plea or takes the case to court, has been set for October 21st. So 2 weeks from this Thursday. So 2 weeks of this Thursday is when this court case is. There's another one of her. Whoa, look at that. Yeah, she sounds like she's got a screw loose or two. What do you make of Snow's actions and subsequent arrest? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in. She's an idiot. Pure and simple. She is a bona fide idiot. 100% grade A bona fide idiot. She is a 100% grade A bona fide twitiot. All right. Anyways, read the text under the photo. All right. Well, which photo are you talking about? Because there are a few photos there. That'll, and I'm not completely sure if I can because depending upon the print size, which picture are you talking about that I should read the text to? Are you talking about the one with her with purple hair? Or are you talking about the one where she's got holding what looks like some kind of book in her hand? I guess she's I guess she's playing. I guess she's cosplaying there as the little girl from Death Note. You talking about this one where she got blood splattered across the wall? Which of these did you want me to read the comments to? One from the I don't know which one the one from the Instagram is. The last one. Okay, the last one. Okay. I'll go ahead and read that per your suggestion. Let's see if I can read it. The print's a little on the small side, but can you guys not report my post for. Wait, can you guys not report my post for suicide and self harm? IG IG just reviews it and puts it back up. And any of my scars aren't even visible. Bleep off. Okay, that made. What in the world was that? What in the world is that? She's upset that they're reporting her for suicide self harm? I don't get it. Leto, would you like to explain what I'm missing there? Because I don't know. Maybe that just kind of went over my head. Aside from maybe the fact, of course, that it does seem she's oblivious to her circumstances. The fact that she's, you know, this is what she's worried about when she's basically about to go to trial for manslaughter. But if that's the point, then I guess I do get it. But other than that, it doesn't seem like it makes much sense to me. So can you help me out in understanding what you were? Uh, let's see what you have to say. I think this was shot after the kill shot. What you mean the post? She deserves this. Yes. What you think? I don't really see anything here in regards to that. Let's see what else. Oh, Misa, that's who what the character was. Hey, all right. About the only thing I could say about that is it does show just how oblivious she seems to be to her situation. That's about the only thing I can take from any of that. Um, that she just seems just absolutely oblivious to her. And I know in those last two, well, Misa is blonde, and that last one is a blonde, blonde girl as well. It does make you wonder if maybe she really is the quote unquote dumb blonde. Anyways, let's move along. Yeah, I mean, I've already read the article. I think everybody agrees that she's an absolute moron. And I think there's not much more to say about it than that. So you're right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next article, Leto. But that was a pretty key one to get to. All right, so this is the last article we're going to look at tonight. All right, so here we go. Last main article, anyways. One Piece film, Strong World, to get U.S. theatrical release in November. Article by John F. Trent, published yesterday, the 4th. So here we go. Toei Animation and Fathom Events are teaming up to bring the 2009 film One Piece film Strong World to U.S. theaters in November. Fathom Events, not Funimation. That's pretty interesting. The film, which was written by One Piece creator Eiichiro Oda and is the 10th film in the One Piece franchise, was originally released back in 2009. A DVD was released in the United States 2013 with a Blu-ray edition in 2016. For those unfamiliar with One Piece, it follows the adventures of Monkey D. Luffy and a star hat, not star hat, not star. Okay, actually, straw hat, not star hate. Straw hat, not star hate. Pirate crew, as he seeks the One Piece, the legendary treasure of the Pirate King, Goldie Roger. The official description for One Piece film Strong World reads, quote, there's gonna be a rumble in the jungle in, quote, One Piece film Strong World, an original One Piece movie written by creator Eiichiro Oda. When the Straw Hats catch wind of trouble in the peaceful waters of the East Blue, they quickly set course for home. It continues, quote, but before they reach their destination, fate leads them into the deadly path of Golden Lion Shiki. The gravity defying madman needs a navigator, and he wants Nami. Quote, Shiki scatters the straw hats across the far corners of a floating island filled with ferocious, genetically mutated monsters and issues Nami an ultimatum. Join his crew or her friends die. Big mistake, unquote, the description asserts. It concludes, quote, Luffy kicks his attack mode into third gear and begins a brutal rampage across the beast-ridden island. It's all hands on deck, including a new character for this watershed adventure in the One Piece canon. Monkey versus Lion. Winner gets the navigator. Da 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 da. Look, Luffy's not happy there, looks like. Yeah, you're gonna steal my navigator? Right, right, buddy. Up yours. Yes, I took it that way too. Like people say, you need to be crazy to be a pro thought. Ah, yeah. All right, so getting back to the One Piece article here. The film is being released in U.S. theaters to celebrate the 1,000th episode of One Piece. Along with the theatrical release of the film, Fathom Events also revealed that the featurette One Piece Mugiwara Chase will also be making its U.S. premiere. Kind of interested in Fathom Events is doing this and not Funimation. As I understand, I think doesn't Funimation still have the rights to One Piece, the distribution rights? Quote, we are thrilled to bring One Piece film Strong World for the first time ever to U.S. theaters in celebration of One Piece's 1,000th series episode, unquote, said Masayuki Endo, president and CEO of Toei Animation. He added, quote, One Piece fans across the United States can now experience the original film by creator Eiichiro Oda as it was meant to be on the big screen, unquote. The film will arrive in the U.S. as a special two-night theatrical event on November 7th and November 9th. The dubbed version of the film will air on November 7th, while the subtitled version will air on November 9th. Tickets are on sale now via the Fathom Events website. So I guess Funimation will still be doing the. Do you plan to see One Piece film Strong World in theaters? Alrighty then. So that's all of the main articles for tonight. Um, and I know we're still pretty early on here because we got started early. We're at hour 16 here. Nope. So yeah, Anyways, guys, I'll be right back. Gotta step away from the computer for a moment, but I'll be right back. Um, all right, I'm back now. I know we got the counter keeps reading like two people, but I think we got more than I don't know. I think we got at least four. Let me. Let's see. Let's see what you guys have been saying since I've gone there. Oh, Chloe is a very good dog, but sometimes she makes noise. That was a while ago. That was a while ago, Woody. I dealt with that early. I took care of that earlier. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that my dog? You're having dreams about my dog now? About our dog? Ah. All right, so as I said, we are a little on the early side because we got started a little earlier. So we got through the stories already. So is there anything else you guys want to bring up? Okay, I already asked Leto and Toys this earlier because I'll ask you, Woody. Um, did you have a chance to listen to any of the story I was reading? You know, my story last night that I was reading, and what did you think of it? Oh, the night, a little light mountain boy's home, and when you're bad at all, oh, give it up, go on. Hmm. I was just trying to see if what he wanted to say. I thought of it as good. Yeah. All right. So, is there anything you guys would like to talk about? Anything you guys want to ask or anything like that? See if we can keep conversation going at least for a few more minutes. If you guys don't, yeah, you guys can ask anything you want. As long, of course, it's niche. Let's see, also, I did a video today that should have been a week ago, but still went ahead and made it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think I did see. I think I did see that pop up on my notifications. Leto. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, well, if unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I guess we can start wrapping up here. If you guys don't have anything more you want to ask me or talk about, we can start wrapping up and we can start getting to. I can start niching it up now if you guys want me to. Also, Nick is streaming after his. Oh, Nick got COVID. That sucks. I didn't even know that. I haven't actually I haven't actually seen any notification yet on. Hey, Bat Goat, how you doing, man? Has it now? Yes, laugh out. Oh, so he's probably not going to be streaming until afterwards. Is that what you're saying, Leto? Hey, Bat Goat. We started early, yeah. Well, we had like 4 or 5. We had like 3 or 4 people already in here, so that's why I started a little early tonight. Um, we just got finished with the main story. We're just kicking back a little bit here, and um, no, he's streaming today. Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen his. Well, yeah, we still have a few minutes before. It's like 8:20. Well, here it's 8:24. So I guess there it would be 10:24. So we still have a few minutes before the notifications probably go up, anyways. Um, yeah. Yeah. Hey, Batgoat. Let me ask you something. 'Cause I'm just kind of curious here because I know you kind of took off early last night. Did you happen to listen to any part of my story as I was reading it? And if you did, what did you think of it? What I'm talking about is last night, of course. I fell asleep. Sorry. Okay, I knew you'd taken off. I wasn't aware you'd fallen asleep. I just thought maybe it wasn't your cup of tea or whatever, which I can understand. It's more anime related as opposed to comics related. So I can see that. Um, yeah. So now we're coming up on an hour and a half. So how was your day today, Batgo? You kind of got in a little late tonight. Were did you do some disc golfing today? We tired old men, Mike. Well, I'm kind of up there. I'm kind of up there too, guys. Don't forget. In fact, this Thursday the 7th, I turned 46. So I've got a birthday coming up myself. Kind of getting up there in years as well. Turned 46 on Thursday. So. Just walked home from the bar, lost a bit of money, but got a good buzz. Well, I'm glad to hear you walked home and didn't like try to drive home back out. I'm glad you did that. We wouldn't want to hear that you got into an accident or something like that because you got into a car while under the influence. So. Yeah, glad you didn't play Russian roulette too. My car is broken. I got a ride to the bar, not too drunk. Okay. Yeah. And just in case you're wondering what Leto was talking about there, we're glad. One of the articles we were reading earlier was about a cosplayer who apparently got drunk, decided it would be a good idea while drunk to play with a gun and not even check to make sure all the bullets that the gun was empty. Ended up killing her friend. Just being stupid and playing with a gun while drunk. Oh, we read that little story earlier. All right. Anything else anybody want to bring up while we're all here? If not, we can, as I said, we can start winding down. I can start niching it up, and then we can start wrapping up here. Unless, again, you guys don't have anything more you want to talk about or say on either any of the stories we were talking about or anything else that's on your mind in regards to niche. Let's see here. Nah, I'm pretty good. I'm gonna start heating up my late night dinner history. All right. We'll go ahead and wrap up then. I thank everybody for being here. I thank you guys for all the likes and shares. So, without any further ado, today being Tuesday, October the 5th, 2021. Let's go ahead and let's take a look back at this day in niche history. I'm going to heat up Walked a Mile Home pot stickers, okay? All right. 1941, 1991, and 2016. Okay. So without no further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this day in niche history. And our first stop, we're going to head back 80 years ago today. As on this date, 80 years ago today, the 5th issue of Daredevil from Lev Gleason Publications went on sale on this date 80 years ago today, back in 1941. Now, this is not related to the Marvel's Daredevil. This is a different character, different book entirely. At this point, it was called Daredevil. It was originally called, actually, the first issue was Daredevil versus Adolf Hitler, and then the second issue was Daredevil Comics, and then from issue 3 on through the rest of its run, it was just simply Daredevil. So on this date back in 1941, 80 years ago today, the 5th issue of Daredevil from Lev Gleason Publications went on sale on this date for 10 cents. It was 64 pages. So there's that. All right, so the next article, the next piece of history, then we move along here. On this date in 1991, which was on this day in 1991, which was 30 years ago today, the Real Ghostbusters would complete its run on this date in 1991. Now, this particular Ghostbusters show was this cartoon, the reason they called it the Real Ghostbusters, this one was based on the 1986 movie with like Bill Murray and I can't remember, like Bill Murray and a few other guys in there. At the time when the real when this cartoon came out, there was another property called the Ghostbusters from Filmation that they were turning into a cartoon that was originally a live action series. They were making into a cartoon. So to kind of distinguish the two series, this one was called The Real Ghostbusters. This one was based off the movie with Slimer and all that. And so on this date 30 years ago today, 1991, the Real Ghostbusters would complete its run on this date in 1991. So there we go there. And last but not least, we head back 5 years ago to 2016. On this day, 5 years ago today, a number of anime would make their premieres. Among those included Satellite's Nanbaka, Nazo Tokine from produced by Tengu Kobo. 8th season of TQ from Millipinzi, and Brave Witches from Silverlink, which was the 3rd season of Strike Riches. So those 4 titles premiered on this date 5 years ago today. And just to give you guys, let me see here real quick. Okay, so now we get the now I got the notification. Nick is going to be on what even is Le Couf. Kyle Rittenhouse hearing. Melinda Scott is winning ? So Nick is in fact streaming tonight. They just got the notification up. So I know a lot of you guys will probably be going over there. All right, so I thank everybody for being here. Don't forget Friday we go back. I'll back out, and I will be getting into June of 1938 in our historical comic retrospect. We'll be looking at comics that went on sale from DC Comics at that time. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. As always, tomorrow night we'll be back. We'll be back again to do some more niche news reporting. So until then, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.